Ladies and gentlemen, we are live here at Performer.com in Quincy, Massachusetts. It has been a long time.
Very long time.
I'm your host, Joshua Paul, and I'm joined by the beautiful Taylor.
Oh, why, thank you. Right back at you, handsome.
Wow, your lips are looking really glossy today.
Why, thank you.
She was
Did you guys miss me?
Oh,
miss you always, Michael.
Yeah, thank you very
Always,
much.
always.
Oh,
Just going to squeeze in here.
Oh, there he is. Look at him.
Smokes.
I've got the door open still. Let me shut it so we don't bother the neighbors, right?
Yeah,
All right.
keep it down over there.
Welcome you guys back, by the way. And I think the last time the Night Moves people saw me, I was probably wearing a black shirt. So trying to lighten up a little.
We're
bit.
just changing it up for the new year,
It's
are
a gray
we?
winter, so I figured I'd wear a gray shirt. Why not? Okay, well, welcome back, guys. I'll hand the ball back to you guys so you can talk
Well, I wish I got the memo that everyone was wearing gray today.
I know we kind of
My
like, okay,
goodness.
we're not twins,
yeah.
but I'm working on it.
Oh, well, I guess maybe
I told Joshua I'm not as pretty as him yet, but I'm working on it.
Wow.
Trying.
You
to
know
get
what,
there, trying to get
Michael?
there. What?
I think you're beautiful.
Thank you very much. That's all I needed. That's my birthday's tomorrow. That's my present. Thank you very
Perfect.
much.
Happy
All right.
birthday.
Well, thank you for coming down tonight, guys, and I'm welcoming back Night Moves, plus a lot of other shows to Performers. So now we'll talk about night stuff. Go ahead.
Yay.
We are back.
We're back.
It's cold outside. We got the Super Bowl coming. What are your thoughts on the whole big Taylor Swift craze?
You know, I personally have never been that, into Taylor Swift. When I was younger, sure. But now I am not with the majority. I heard they're engaged, though, unless that's a rumor.
That's a rumor.
Okay.
I saw an interview.
I mean, you never know.
I saw an interview with Stephen Smith. Stephen Smith is a well-known, mouthy, talented black sports a commentator. Awesome guy. Great. He's quick with the lip. And I saw his interview on Howard Stern, and he's like, "Let me tell you something." He goes, "I took my daughter to the concert. I'm not a Taylor Swift fan, but I stood up for 3.5 hours. I'm 55 years old. 3.5 hours. Let me tell you something. They were black. They were Asian. They were Indian. There were white girls in the crowd. Word for word, they were singing her stuff.
Taylor Swift's bringing everybody together, huh?
And Casey's going back to the Super Bowl.
Yeah. I mean, I really hope that Travis Kelce does not end up being another one of those songs about choosing the wrong guy. So I think that would be tragic.
I think it's going to happen that way. I'm being pessimistic, but I'm glad that they're having a good time.
Yikes.
They're having a good time.
Well,
Why
apparently
not?
she's brought in $330 million in the NFL just by
they know what
just
they're
by
doing.
people tuning in.
They do. They know what they're doing. They
Yeah,
know
and
what they're doing.
People are complaining that she's on the network television a lot, that
It's a
they're
little
focusing on her. But yeah, it's working for them, so why not?
I don't know. It seems to be a new thing.
I'm not hating on them when I say their relationship probably won't last. But what I'm saying is that while they are going out, embrace it and just have fun with it. What the heck?
There you go.
I don't particularly care for him though.
Live while you're
I don't.
young.
I don't care for it. He's a little like Gronk, but on more of a negative.
Okay.
Like he's more.
Well, he's hairier.
That was.
got a lot more hair.
How do you know that, Josh?
Let me put it this way.
Well, he's got face. He's got a beard.
Yeah, that's true.
I did not take
well,
Harrier for a beard.
Well, his brother's super beard.
Okay.
His brother's, I think, even more of a. I don't know what's. It's kind of hard to do. More of a manly kind of. Alpha male type, yeah.
Super
Oh,
alpha.
boy.
Yeah.
Well, he had it.
Even more than Travis's.
Well, he had a shirt off through the AFC
Right, exactly,
championship game, which
I'm sure his mother was proud.
Listen. I was happy they beat Baltimore. I think they're a team full of thugs.
I was kind of mixed about that, seriously.
I think they're a team full of thugs, and
True.
And when you get four personal fouls and 2 taunting calls, you're going to lose a game, right?
Yeah.
But I was bummed about the Detroit game.
I was
really
too.
wanted Detroit to
see
win.
Detroit
and that coach made 2 bad calls going for the 4th down plays. They should have punted it, put it back in the 5 or 10 yard line, and whatever.
Emotions run high in games like that.
Yeah, absolutely.
Taylor, what's
do.
your favorite sport?
Oh,
I know
boy.
you've been
Honestly,
to the baseball game with me, right?
I have. That was quite
fun.
the
That was
time.
fun, yes.
I think Brian actually posted a video recently of
Did
us
he
eating
really?
hot dogs. Yeah.
Of
I
course.
was like, wow.
Those would be hot dogs, right?
Of course,
it
yeah.
would be.
Oh, yeah.
All right,
There were
that's Brian. He's always
great
loved the food.
comments on that video.
Yes,
but,
I can imagine, definitely.
Yeah, Yeah, no, I feel like I like to follow sports, but I try to stay almost at a distance because I get very invested and I cannot afford to have high blood pressure.
Well, wait, weren't you just fighting at some ring show?
I was not fighting. I was ring girling with the signs.
Oh, how did that go?
I guess I was fighting for a spot,
I know I had to vote twice. Jeez.
Well,
She's like, vote for me. I want in. I'm like, fine.
because I was trying to win the competition.
Oh, you got in. Congratulations.
I did not win the competition.
But you got in.
sadly.
You got picked.
I did get in.
Yeah.
I did get in.
Yeah.
Who knows? Maybe we'll go back for some redemption.
Okay.
You
Yeah,
know?
those things are fun, though. Did you have fun with it, at least? You personally?
Yes and no. I
Yes
think
and
it
no?
was nerve-wracking, slightly. You know what I mean? To be in front of people.
How many people do you think were there?
I honestly, well, it was at the Dunkin' Donuts Arena in Rhode Island.
It's about maybe 10 to 12,000.
It was pretty packed.
Wow.
It was pretty packed. So, a little nerve-wracking the first time, especially if you don't know what you're doing. Like, I've never done anything like that before. But it's, it was pretty similar to a runway in a sense of like you hit your marks and do your thing and get out. So that was what it was. Not too bad though. Some of the commentators didn't have some of the nicest things to say about me.
About you?
Yeah.
You mean
They were
ones-
making comments?
Yeah, I think that's kind of
Like
their
derogatory comments?
You're
I
talking
think that's
about
kind
the
of their thing.
TV commentators or the comments like on social media?
No, so the comments that were the social media comments were brutal, like absolutely brutal
Okay, I
for
haven't read them
anyone
yet.
that was on that page.
What do you mean brutal in what manner?
There were some
Disrespectful?
very, very towards quite a few of the girls.
WTF?
Yeah, it was bad. It was bad. But I think you put yourself out there and you gotta take the good with the bad.
Yeah,
so,
I mean,
whatever.
you're kind to to take it to the chin like that, but that's you don't do that. Shit. Sorry.
Well, I
I'm gonna
know.
say it.
Well,
you don't. I'm sorry.
so-
That's disrespectful. I mean, there's so many things you can say about. If you want to comment,
Yeah.
comment about the fighters.
Yeah,
That's
I
why
guess
you're
so,
there. But don't
right?
comment about the women. That's
Yeah,
not
the
cool.
women that are competing. There were a lot of comments on
That's not
bring on the penicillin.
That's not cool.
Yeah.
That's
So it was rough. I was not the brunt of some of those comments. There were maybe about 3 of us that had escaped them. But yeah, I think it's just it takes a lot for the women.
This was
to,
a Barstool Sports thing.
It was.
Yeah, I follow the
It was.
the head guy, the founder, the president. He likes a lot of pizza. I follow all of his pizza ventures.
Yeah, he does.
And
Yeah.
but that's that's not cool. But what?
It's all right.
I don't- he sold it.
I don't
a
even think
couple
he
of
was
years
the one
ago.
that was commenting on
No, probably
the,
wasn't.
I think he had
David
gone as
Portnoy
soon
is who
as-
we're talking about.
Yeah.
He sold Barstool Sports to a company in New York several years ago, and then he bought it back for $1, which I thought was brilliant.
Good for
That's
him.
hysterical.
Good for him.
Buys it back for
Wow.
$1, and of course brings it back to. It's like when
Yeah.
Steve Jobs left Apple, and it kind of went down, so they bring Steve Jobs back to resurrect it again. So
Kinda
he
reaffirm
kind
their
of knows what he's doing.
position.
He's from Milton, by the way, just so you know. He's
Interesting.
from Milton, Mass. Yeah, exactly.
Well, hi, Dave.
There you go. He's definitely watching, right?
He's single now.
There you go.
Oh, is he?
He's
Oh,
recently
okay.
Charming.
I wonder
Well-
why. I wonder why. Maybe it's all that pizza.
Ooh.
I don't We're going to go to break right
Speaking
now,
of
guys. We
pizza.
got a couple great guests coming up.
Yeah.
So stay tuned, and we'll be back in just a few seconds. Bye-bye.
When it comes to making plans, you are the best. What about those barbecues you plan in detail for your family? Or your daughter's first costume party? It was out of this world. The same way you plan each detail for those moments, start planning to protect you and your loved ones from a natural disaster. Sign up for local weather and emergency alerts. Prepare an emergency kit and make a family communications plan. Protecting your family is the best plan you can make.
During high school, I hung with the wrong crowd and I never graduated.
I helped Santiago in many different ways, like all fathers do, because he always wanted to go to college.
I felt a little embarrassed to come back to school, but eventually once I came here, I knew that it's for a bigger goal.
was very dedicated, hardworking. He connected with his teachers. He connected with other students. That was one of the key reasons why he was able to keep forging ahead.
It was amazing to see him graduate. This was one thing that meant so much to him, and of course, it meant so much to us too.
With the help of my father and having my son, that was all the motivation that I needed. That support is everything.
Find free adult education classes near you at finishyourdiploma.org.
I don't remember how it started. Our back and forth. Victory. Fumble. Repeat. It always came back.
Dad! Okay, here we go, throw it! Yeah.
You probably don't remember what you told me,
That was perfect.
but I heard every word.
Nice.
Tonight Moves here in Quincy, Massachusetts. I'm your host, Joshua Paul, joined by the very lovely Taylor.
It's me.
We were just talking at commercial break here about, just my opinion of the audacity of some of the rudeness and the piggish, thoughts of men. For years I've been in and around women, either dating them or performing for them. And you can't be, I'm just going to say it, and I'm going to swear a little bit, an asshole. It's really disrespectful, not to the women, but of course to the women, but to yourself. I mean, you don't need to be talking smack about that. If you want to decide to put on, itty beanie tiny bikini and heels and get up in front of 10,000 people at the Dunkin' Donuts Center, and then you got people who are like saying, "Oh my God, yeah, you're right,
No.
yeah, you're right, yeah." They're like, I mean, okay, pal, why don't you get up there and why don't you,
I don't think anybody would have wanted to see him. Let's be honest.
Well, I think tonight, Michael, the guests that we have here have far more class and talent than the guys.
We
that
already
were
know
judging
that.
The show.
We're talking about Barstool Sports than anybody.
Well, I mean, listen.
I'm not saying, but you can meet somebody on the street and know that they already have more class. And
Well, listen. I think Dave. I forget his last name. Starts with
Portnoy.
P. Yeah, Portnoy. Yeah, I mean, the pizza guy. I think he's got a great personality, super strong personality. You're going to build a brand, and people are going to join. I mean, look at Vince McMahon.
Yeah.
Just had to step down from TKO.
Right. Exactly.
Because of allegations of. What?
Sometimes it goes to their heads.
What?
The ego.
Sex trafficking? I mean, listen, you're going to be worth all that kind of money, right? Why do you got to go hitting on the employees? You just hire people. You're a billionaire. Hire some and be like, listen, this is your job.
He was getting old anyway. He should have retired. He's in his mid-70s now.
It's
time to go.
Listen, it doesn't pay off well for people. Look at Jeffrey Epstein. He dead. Billionaire.
I think Jeffrey Epstein was on a level that nobody
he was on another
can be on. You know what I mean? He was way up there.
I mean, I guess the point I'm trying to make here is men powering their perversions, and it's like control yourself. But anyways.
A lot of them do not make smart decisions, let's be honest. Even Robert Kraft did not make some smart decisions.
Wow.
Going to the Asian rub-down place.
So why don't we introduce our guest, though? Let's do something fun. Yeah, I know. That was just a very stupid decision.
Crab rangoons and happy
endings.
That's
exactly.
it.
All right.
Sounds like a killer Friday night.
It's almost magical.
Almost
See my
magical.
segue? See my segue?
Oh,
there?
that was a
That
beautiful
was
segue,
good,
Michael.
That was
Wow.
good. You know, it must be the shirt that's fitting well.
Ooh.
You know,
There you go. All right, here we go.
Wonderful.
Let's welcome JoJo.
JoJo, welcome.
JoJo the magician.
Hi,
JoJo
JoJo.
the magician.
How are you?
Welcome,
Oh, I'm supposed to talk.
Welcome.
Sorry.
Yes,
Hi.
Yes.
Hi,
Welcome,
how are
pal.
you?
Welcome. Did you smoke 2 joints for 2 more?
No,
joints?
no,
Is that what
I
it
can't
is?
do that. I get too
Okay.
paranoid.
All right,
Yeah.
good, good.
No.
All right. Well, welcome.
Thank you.
Go ahead and tell our viewers at home who you are and what you do.
Yes, so my name is Joseph Garciaa. People will call me JoJo. I've been doing magic since I was like 10 years old. And, I'm doing this much recently, but I'm coming to this point in my life where I want to combine magic and comedy.
It's a great idea.
Great idea. Yeah,
Great
that's what I'm
Bo
pursuing.
Burnham did that, and not so much magic, but
Oops,
he
wrong
did
one.
more of like a musical comedy. So I think you have a fair shot. I do.
Yeah.
Who is this again? Who did that?
Bo Burnham. Oh, I love
okay.
him. He's like 7 feet tall. Oh,
I just saw Jeff Dunham, the puppet guy.
love him.
Yeah. He's
Love
still
him. I'm a
around?
big comedy
Yes.
gal. I have to say.
Yeah.
I have to say.
Well,
I'm
you-
supposed to go to a show Friday night. So
Well, you've done comedy for our show.
I have. I have.
And I swear the girls loved you more than the
Oh,
guys.
I know. I might have to come back.
Not to
for,
say that my team, sucks, but you did some
Yeah, it
comedy,
was-
and it was good. It was good. I mean,
I did some comedy. I didn't realize that there would be as many
women that were into you.
No, I love that. But the men, there were a lot of men at that show.
Sure.
They were very
Yeah,
supportive
yeah,
of their wives
yeah,
being
yeah.
pumped by other men.
Yeah,
It was cool.
I mean, in today's day and age, we can't discriminate. So
No,
if you're
I loved it.
Listen, if you're gonna buy a ticket and sit in our seat and be respectful and tip money,
Mm-hmm.
we're happy to have you.
I loved it. I loved every second of it. I had a lot of the, jokes geared towards men, so
It was fun. It was
Well,
good.
Do you have any on deck?
on deck. Oh boy.
Like his
I was
card
really
deck.
just talking about, I know, like your card deck. Look at that.
What do you got? You got cards for us?
I do have cards.
You want to
yes.
show us something? Are we able to put
I would
the
love
camera
to.
down?
Yeah. All right. Can you do me a favor? Can you pick a card for me?
Oh,
Just
snap. Okay,
try
any
to get
card.
straight. Any card.
Okay.
Go ahead.
Let's go for this one.
All right, you can keep it because you licked your hand before.
sorry,
You... No, okay.
sorry.
All right, go ahead, show it to a camera. Got it. All right, go ahead, place it face down right here. All right, you're gonna remember that, right? Don't forget it.
Okay.
All right, watch. You're wearing a blue shirt. Okay. You
yes.
could have worn purple. You could have worn green.
could've.
Anything. Go ahead, just take a little bit of your blue. Just go ahead, pluck it off your shirt, and place it into the pack. Boom, just like this.
I like the snap.
Check it out. Now, if we go through, trying to get the lighting right, they're very shiny cards. There's one card.
Come on.
Nothing. Here, try it again. Go ahead. A little bit more blue. Check it out. We go through, there's one blue card. If you can see. You
Wow.
can see. Right? You remember the name of your card?
Yeah, I do remember.
Did it look something like that?
Bravo.
Thank you.
Bravo.
Thank
How
you.
long did it take you to learn that trick?
That trick? Probably a couple minutes.
Wow.
It's called Chicago Opener, if you're interested.
That's the name of that
Oh.
Yeah.
type of trick?
Yep.
You know, a magician is never supposed to tell a secret.
I didn't tell a secret. I just
He just
told
said
you
the name
of
of
the
it.
trick.
That's all.
I feel
What-
magicians should be more honest.
So why magic?
Because when I was young, I didn't really have a lot of friends, and I was very fascinated by it, and it gave me a way to talk to girls. So I mean, it hasn't really worked yet.
What, to
but
get them to take their clothes off?
no, I was in
Now you
fifth
see it,
grade.
now you
I
don't?
was in fifth grade.
Now your shirt's
Your
off.
clothes are
wearing your
here, and
bra.
now they've disappeared.
He was just innocent back then.
Right.
Yeah.
All right. Wow.
And then
Not
it
for
turned
long.
into
Not
for
a,
long. Had
yeah,
those skills.
turned into a passion, and then a business opportunity. And now I'm not doing as much business, and I'm just doing it because it's fun.
Love that.
And you mentioned comedy.
Yeah, I'm trying to learn how to be funny.
Sure.
Yeah. Do you want to hear a joke?
Please. Yes.
Okay. It's a construction joke.
Oh.
But
Are you certified?
Certified, no. I started writing a construction
Certifiable,
joke.
maybe. But go ahead.
Yeah, no, but I couldn't finish it.
There we go.
I
Well done.
have another one. It's a it's a sex joke, but
We love those.
that one
Well,
I
we're
just
old enough
I couldn't
for
finish
over
that one either.
Oh.
I wrote that one. Yeah.
I think a lot of men could relate.
That's funny.
Yeah.
It's a good one.
Too many.
That's
Way
funny.
too many. I think I've
Listen, it's
met
tough
a few.
being a guy. Jeez, go easy on us.
No, it's easy being a guy.
Well,
It's definitely easy being a guy.
Being a girl is so
depends.
much work.
It's absolutely a lot of work.
Yeah.
I'll tell you that.
It depends. It
a lot of
depends
work.
where you
hair?
are in life. In this
I was going to say
What do you
there are
think,
some
Michael?
guys out there that spend more time in front of the mirror than women do. So.
Well,
These days, especially.
I'd love to meet him.
Yeah.
Never met a mirror.
Go to California, L.A.
I love it
They're
over
all over the
there.
place down
That's
there.
where I should be
Taylor
right
was-
now. I'm
Taylor
so
was just
upset.
there.
I'm so upset.
They're all out there.
Yeah.
Most of them, anyway.
No.
So, JoJo, where have you been performing lately?
Lately, I've just been performing at open mics in the Boston area. I'm still I get laughed sometimes, but I really got to spend more time writing because the performing part's fun. That's the easy part, but saying what people want to hear, that's the hard part. So just around the Boston area, and hopefully I'll have a solid 10 minutes in the next couple of weeks, and then I can
A solid 10
Yeah.
minutes. Isn't it?
it's a lot. All right,
like ordering
I
a
got
dining meal.
a solid one joke right now.
We
So,
we had JoJo on here for a Halloween special we did
very long
during the
time ago.
pandemic. Yeah.
Yeah.
It was about a good 3 years ago.
Yeah.
And maybe 4. It was actually, it was the fall of 2020. That's how long ago it was.
Wow.
Jeez. So 3.5 years
That's
ago.
like
Three-
a whole high school
Oh,
time.
he was a baby
Yeah,
then.
yeah, how old
I
were you?
Yeah, I
couldn't.
guess.
Couldn't hit on him
But
back
his,
then.
his routine was funny back then too. So
She
I can
would
see
devour
what
you.
I listen when you combine
Something
comedy.
about the innocence.
When you combine
Pick her
comedy with
teeth.
magic, that's gold. Look at Penn and Teller. Okay, I mean
Those
that's
guys are
that's
geniuses.
yeah, that's exactly. But it's what makes their routines interesting is the comedic side of it.
Absolutely.
Because the magic is nothing extraordinarily special, but the comedy mixed with the magic is, like I said, genius. Like you said,
Yeah,
genius.
absolutely.
So yeah, there's something like that. I think you're on the right track.
Thank you.
Honestly,
That
yeah, I
means
think that's
lot.
a smart idea to do that because magicians, we've seen them. You can go to YouTube, see them all over the place, television specials, late night talk shows. But combining two different talents and two different skills, I think that's the way to go in this day and age. Something different.
Absolutely.
Well,
When's the
you're a
last?
step ahead of most.
And
so.
you know what? I love Jeff Dunham too.
great.
He's clean too, by the way. A lot of people don't realize you don't have to be that. What's the word? Edgy.
It doesn't need to be
inappropriate? Yeah,
raunchy
exactly.
to be-
Doesn't need. I mean,
yeah.
you can appeal to a lot more people and open up a
Yeah.
lot more doors, possibly that way too. Do you get any corporate gigs or things like that?
Me?
I would. Yeah, you. I was wondering.
Doing magic?
Yeah.
No, I've never got an actual corporate gig.
Really?
Yeah, I've just
Because I think a lot more of them now are
getting.
getting into that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
It's something different than what they've normally had.
Yeah, I feel like
To lighten up the mood and
within
stuff.
the next couple of years, as I get a little bit.
Well, you need to have your own YouTube channel, so you do stuff at home.
Yeah, I have
Right?
a
I mean,
YouTube
that's
channel.
Okay. And how's that going?
I got 52 subscribers, so we're
you
pretty
go.
strong. 61 actually.
Okay,
61.
there you go.
Thank you, all 61.
It's increased while
subscribers.
you've been on the show.
Absolutely, absolutely. I'm gonna check back as we 100,000 subscribers.
There you go.
Yeah.
That's it right there.
That's right. That's a mindset.
We're that good. No.
So
Not yet. We're working on
Well,
it.
if you invite Taylor on your show, you probably will.
say less.
She'll be the they always have that. They always have the pretty girl that Drum roll,
Oh,
please.
you think I'm pretty?
Yeah, Taylor,
Drum roll,
would you
please.
would you do that? Would you do like the cutting in half?
I know.
and
Do you want
the
to
magician's
cut me in half?
The magician's assistant. Yeah, more of you. Just like a diamond. It gets more worth more when you cut them
Love
in half.
it.
No, and I'm saying,
Love it.
would that be something that would really
Absolutely.
excite? I would think most
I-
female
I'll do-
assistants. Why aren't there any male assistants? I'm just curious.
I think I've seen one
Why-
or two.
Well,
I'm just
Penn
curious.
And Teller, they got.
Well,
each
that's
other.
they're
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 an
a team.
anomaly. Yes.
They're a team.
Yes.
But I haven't seen too many female magicians. But if they did, I'm assuming they have a male assistant. Why not? I don't know. I've never seen it, so
Probably.
I'm just putting it out there. But that would be kind of interesting. I don't know. All right, that's just me
You know?
thinking somewhere.
No, that's. I mean, I
Whoops.
think it's valid.
Sure.
Very inclusive.
I mean, there aren't a lot of female magicians, are there?
No, not that I've seen. I feel
there
like
are-
we work enough magic out in the streets that we don't want to play around
What
with
kind of
it.
magic are you working in the streets? I don't want to know. I don't want to know. No, Jojo, are there any female magicians that are notable?
Have you met a female magician?
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, we're not talking about the girls we date.
Oh, yeah. Well,
we're not
no,
talking about
still,
those girls.
still.
I mean, that's where I was going
There's a
with
couple
it.
on, I've seen on Facebook. I haven't met them personally, but, I use them as like,
So nobody's that's really mainstream, though.
Yeah. Well, Gally Novak. I went to Magic Camp with her. I never really knew her personally, but she was on Fool Us, I think. Which
Magic
is like
Camp?
Penn and Teller. Yeah.
Where's that?
That was it's Tannen's Magic Camp. That was in Pennsylvania, and it was like 300 guys and
Wow.
5 girls.
Wow.
Yep.
Cool.
Yup. So it was like a battle to the death.
It was just like a weekend.
So you know what I'm
Yeah.
thinking, Taylor.
Yeah.
Magic Camp.
You know, maybe that's
the
my
thing,
that's gonna be that's my in.
Yeah,
It's
that's
just-
exactly.
I've gone to a
Could be
lot
a
of
claim
different
to fame.
camps over the years.
Magic
You know,
Camp.
I can't say. I think that actually Magic Camp would probably be a bit more entertaining than Christian Camp. So
different kind of magic.
definitely a different kind of magic, that's for sure.
Yeah.
But no, I'd be open to it.
Now
I
you see
feel
it,
like
now
I
you
say
don't.
I'll try almost anything once, and we'll go from there.
That's what I said
So-
about hot sauce.
You'll try any.
No, I
different
said I would try
hot
hot sauce once, and then
Oh,
I
and
tried
that
it, and I
was-
totally regret. I cried.
Yeah? Never again, huh? Was it like the ghost pepper, or was it like that?
It was
Frank's
really
Red
hot. It was like really hot sauce.
Okay.
Like
I
it
love hot
burns you.
sauce.
Yeah.
Huh.
Yeah, hot sauce is good.
Well.
So wait, so what's your next?
My next move?
Yeah.
My next move, is just getting my first slot of time where I can do a set that's not an open mic, because open mics anyone can go and you show up and you get like 5 minutes and it's all comedians. My next step is getting in front of like an actual audience of people who aren't comedians, who are either paid or free. And I've been thinking about doing like setting up my own open mic in Framingham where I live, and I think that would be pretty cool. I think that would be good for exposure and stuff.
What else do you do besides card tricks?
Besides card tricks, I do kids' birthday parties. So I do tricks with like balloons and iPhones and silks and ropes. Rope tricks are my favorite. Those are like the most magical ones to me.
I enjoy rope tricks as well.
Yeah, well, that's awesome.
Now you see her. Now you don't.
You see her now.
Getting all tied up here, but anyway.
See, he is funny.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you. Yeah,
Kids'
just a
birthday
little bit of it.
parties,
Yeah,
like,
that's where the
what,
money's at.
like-
If
like
you're a
what
magician,
age?
oh, like 4 to like 8, because after that they're too smart,
Oh yeah.
Too smart.
and before 4 they're too dumb. So
Yeah, sure, they're not.
No.
Yeah.
I don't know. I would
Yeah.
say contraire. I've worked with. I was a teacher for a little bit. They're sharp. Those kids.
but
They are sharp.
yeah, I mean, now that I was thinking today, and I was like, I wasn't really a magician. I was more like a kid's comedian. If now I really
That
think
could
about
be
it.
kind of fun.
Because I mean, a kid's magician, like, the kids don't really care about the magic. They care about having fun,
Sure.
And a lot of what I did was I was kind of like a clown. I would like, hit my head on the table by accident and put something on the table and it would fall off, and put something on the table and it would fall off, and pretend like I don't see it, and kids would
Yeah.
die laughing.
They go
and it-
bananas.
Yeah, absolutely. So
Oh, that's cute.
you
That's
know.
definitely an in. I feel like not everyone can do that. You have to be good with kids to some extent.
yeah, no, but now I've had my fill of kids for a very long time. So
Wow.
He's like,
You know,
yeah, I'm done.
I'm
you
done
know,
with that.
I'm
I'm
done.
built allergic to them. I'm
It's like
allergic to them now.
He's allergic
so
to
I'm
children.
allergic to children.
Good to know.
So-
Done
Someone
with
someone
Dirty
that doesn't have to be carded, right?
Yeah. So,
Pretty much.
but
That's
no,
good, Michael.
kids are fun. They're like puppy humans.
Oh,
Puppy humor.
love that.
Yeah.
That's pretty close.
Mini humans.
Definitely.
Um,
All right. You know what? We're going to talk more about comedy then. Okay. So
Yeah.
we're going to take a little preview of a comedic bit from our next guest, and after that we'll be back with him. Okay. So we'll be back in just a few minutes, and we'll be back with JoJo a little bit later on too. Okay.
Sure.
So stay tuned and take a look at this. Here we go.
My name is Big Ralph, and I believe in fitness and the American dream. But many of you already know that. But what none of you know is that I'm really a T450 cybernetic organism, living tissue over metal endoskeleton. An upgraded, sharper, sexier model, sent here with a message from the future to save humanity from the pussification of this nation and awaken the masses by making the greatest pump-up video of all time. Not every legend is a myth. Some are flesh and blood and walk among us. But they aren't born, they're built. Legends are made from iron and sweat, mind and muscle, blood and vision and victory. Legends are champions. They grow, they win, they conquer. They understand that when the smoke clears, all lives matter, and all matter is energy. And energy is the blueprint to your legacy. Turn up the power, because in a world full of anybody's, you can be a somebody, as long as you trust yourself and don't miss training. I'm talking about that vision of searching deep down and asking yourself, who do you want to be? Not what, but who. What makes you happy? No matter how crazy it may sound to someone else, you've got to go out there and begin your life's journey. Think outside the box and break some rules. Don't be afraid to fail, and you push yourself because you believe in your vision, and success will come with consistency as long as you don't miss training. Ignore the naysayers. Everyone out there is going to tell you how hard something's going to be, and that you can't do this, and that you can't do that, and that it's never been done before. I love it when someone says that it can't be done, because then if I do it, I'm the first. Work your ass off. Nothing is earned without commitment. You're either one or two things in this life, elite or delete, and you can't put a filter over hard work. Now, I'm not saying you can't go out and party, but just remember, while you're horsing around, someone out there is working hard. Someone out there is getting smarter. Someone is winning. So give something back and don't miss training. I will never stop and always move forward. I will rest, heal, and recover, and keep pushing my body past any limits I may have thought I had. I will educate and inspire others. I will no longer eat to satisfy the cravings of hunger, but instead use food as fuel to power this machine of consciousness. I will reprogram my brain using the secret laws of attraction and generate enough energy to power a city. And I will believe in myself even when no one believes in me. I will always be the hunter and never the hunted. My grasp will never exceed my reach, and I will obsess over every goal until I can't sleep about it or dream about it. And when I dream about it, I'm so consumed that I can't sleep, and my conscience eats at me, and I scream about it, and I can't breathe without it. I will always be aware of how fortunate I am to do the things I am able to do, and I will use my strength to protect the weak. I'll become one with nature, and in any element not only survive but thrive. And if the hurricane hits, I'll become the storm and bring the thunder. Each day, I'll grow bigger and stronger and faster than the day before. Not even me can stop me.
But
Oh
I'm
my
feeling
God.
quite inadequate right now.
I'm telling you, if I had that before the gym today, wow, I am pumped. Like, I'm ready to
I
go.
feel like I need to go run around the block just to do this interview. Raff, what was
Raff,
that all about?
welcome.
Wow.
Thank you very much. And that's what it was meant for. That's why I called it the greatest pump-up video of all time. It was meant for motivation.
It was good. It was very, very motivating to me.
Yeah, awesome. And I'm glad we opened up with that. I haven't actually watched that in a couple of years, but that'll segue nicely into what sort of jump-started my career. I was going through this phase in my life called the law of attraction phase.
Love
where
that.
Love that, right? You
Yeah.
create your own reality, you speak it, it comes into existence.
Mm-hmm.
So I told a couple buddies, I said, hey, I'm going to make a movie and it's going to get me in a movie. And of course they were like, yeah, never going to happen. So I followed through, put a lot into it,
Yeah.
made the movie, put it out on YouTube, and then I got a call from a casting agency. It came across the desk of the Broken Lizard guys that did the Super Troopers series.
Yeah.
They liked it. They brought me in to read some lines, and I got cast in the movie.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Imagine that. Create your own reality.
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
great.
I was even shocked that it happened the way it did. Because
Yeah.
it was kind of proof that there is some truth to it.
Yeah, it really is. It's crazy. I mean, you definitely you fit the part of a Super Trooper.
we
that's
couldn't
for
show
sure.
any of the Super Trooper stuff because of copyright violations. So I wish I could have. Well, I wish I could have. It was pretty.
Well,
pretty
keep an
out
eye
there.
out for him
Let's
if you
say-
guys are watching Super Troopers.
I was gonna say. Let's say it was pretty out there. Okay, we'll just say that much. Okay, that's it.
Love that.
How did you get into that? Okay, first of all, you guys are part of a company, right? You and Joshua, right?
Yeah, Raff is an amazing performer for Hunkamania.
Hunkamania.
Whoop,
And,
whoop.
I knew I'd hear that from you. The minute it was said, I knew that was coming.
Yeah, Hunkamania is in 45 cities in the United States,
Oh,
and 3
okay.
countries.
So,
it's kinda
ladies
like
and gentlemen,
Chippin-
if you want to see
Yeah.
those cheeks again,
kind of like Chippendales.
catch another Hunkamania show.
So, I mean, it's mostly bachelorette parties, I'm assuming.
Yeah,
A little bit of everything?
Yeah. I mean, Taylor kind of brought it up, earlier. We've certainly had, more men surfacing, but generally women. Yeah, generally women.
Yeah, but saying, is it mostly
I feel like it was a bachelorette birthday, like cause for
birthdays, right,
celebration, or some of the girls just came for a night out. Some of the guys came for a night out.
Okay.
I think it was a very
So it's
inclusive
just-
environment.
Yeah, it's just mostly dancing.
Yeah, it was just everybody was there to have fun. So
I'm surprised to hear that you were there doing something.
I was.
How long ago was that?
I was. This was
That's the first time I've heard of
not
it.
too long ago.
Yeah, I mean, I reached out to Taylor to come and help and maybe do a little comedy to open the show.
But I didn't know she was like the comedic type. I mean, you
I
are
did.
funny. Don't get me wrong,
Well,
naturally
thank you.
funny. But I didn't know she was doing stuff like that. But great.
I
That's great.
did.
Glad
Yeah,
to
it
hear
was.
that.
It was actually. It was one of the first experiences that I had doing like an actual written set.
Oh, okay.
So I mean, it was fun though. I
Cool.
enjoyed it, and I may or may not have danced for a couple of the girls per request.
Yeah, I mean, she was there. Listen, it was a good addition having her there. There was no question. It was better having her there than not having her there. She was great, and so why not? And but Raff came across our radar through my boss Jeff, who's one of the owners of Hunkamania. And and I think at some point we might do a separate show on that. But Raff came through the radar. He came down from New York. They sent me the lead, and I mean, Raff is just an energetic, nice, talented guy. Shows up on time, full of energy, always smiling, always looking to please, and he was a good dancer. We put him out there as a sharp-dressed man. And he worked it.
Thank you. And that's now evolved into almost every character within the company.
Yeah.
Construction worker, police officer, doctor.
Yeah.
Yeah, we have a lot of fun. It's a good
Yeah.
time. It's a great time, actually. Some of the most fun I've ever had. And we get paid to basically throw a party and make sure that everyone, the bachelorettes, we have divorce parties, birthday parties. Oh, yeah. Yep. And the divorce parties are a little bit rowdier than the bachelorette parties, as you can imagine.
Absolutely.
Yeah. And my act's awesome. I like to think so. I do a lot of gymnastics and handstand walks and dolphin dives and,
Yeah. No. Listen, he's very talented. And also you'd find on his Instagram page, which we'll have to put up later here, he's also a musician. He plays instruments, and more than one.
Yeah.
Oh wow. What instruments do you play?
Guitar, keyboard, bass, and then drums. And once you
Wow.
understand music theory and how to connect chord progressions and scales over those chord progressions, you can kind of learn everything. So I taught myself it over years and years of just practice and learning. Yeah, yep.
That's really cool. You could essentially be a one-man band. I mean, you've got it all down.
Yeah, I have a setup where I run everything through a loop station and I do a one-man band show. During the pandemic, I streamed, I think it was 9 shows consecutively in a row. I learned,
wow.
I think it was 80 different songs. And it was kind of a challenge. I was home alone. I had nothing to do. I had a few friends that wanted to come over and help me. We set up lights, smoke machines. It was a lot of fun.
That is really cool.
And like anything, the more practice you get, the sharper you get at it. And we would put a lot of hours in, as most of us had so much free time, during that pandemic
that's
window.
wonderful. Honestly, I tried to do the self-taught guitar and keyboard, and I have to say it definitely is very challenging. Very challenging. Can't say that I still do it now. So,
Yeah.
power to you, honestly.
Thank you.
Yeah, absolutely. So you do comedy as well.
I do. Yeah. So
Wow.
we'll get into that and take a guess real quick. What role was I cast in for that Super Troopers movie?
Oh, goodness.
Bone chicka wow, bone chicka
Ooh.
wow.
I was
Really?
cast as a male stripper.
Amazing. Well, I'm going to go watch Super Troopers.
So this is one of those art creating life sort of moments.
Yeah.
Yeah. But so now stand-up comedy is a fantastic art form. I love it very much so. It's challenging. It's one of the harder things that I've ever had to do. And being outgoing, being clever, even being funny doesn't matter, depending on how the crowd reacts, whether they like you right away or not,
Right.
if there's hecklers, if there's groups that aren't paying attention, if they're talking. And just pulling laughs out of people is an art in itself.
Absolutely.
So yeah, I've been doing some shows, and I'm looking forward to this the most, and I hope you all make it. On February 29th, I'll be presenting and then headlining the Beantown Roast. So it's the first.
Fun.
Yeah, and roasting's my favorite style of comedy by far.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, it doesn't even compare.
I love a good
Get the
roast.
ripping at people.
Yeah.
I love a good roast. I
Ripping
really
at
do.
people.
Oh yeah, it's gonna get dark, and we're gonna go into
Awesome.
people's family history.
Oh, perfect.
Talk about
I
every
think
insecurity.
People today are very they're very sensitive.
Oh, I know.
Everyone's gotten so soft.
Oh,
so
I-
I honestly I could not agree more with your pacification of the nation statement. That's going to be one of my new favorite lines.
Oh, I know Mark
Hands down.
Riley. He's good.
Yeah, Mark Riley's great. Him and I are going to be headlining it, and we basically talked actually right before we got here. We're taking the gloves off, so anything goes.
Wow.
I'm very fortunate that I've developed a thick skin over the course of my life where I don't believe any words could hurt me.
Right.
Right? I don't know if anyone could say anything that would really, break my spirit or hurt my feelings. So
That's powerful to be
yeah.
able to do that.
And you kind of need that for these roasts because, if someone's dad, has Parkinson's disease, there's going to be a Michael Fox joke.
Yeah,
coming
yeah, and you better
right around
be ready.
the corner. So yeah, you kind of have to have the skin
love
to touch
it.
on a lot of those subjects.
I know, I love it. They always say comedy comes from a dark place, right? And I think it's important, to remind people that you don't have to take everything so seriously,
Yeah.
you know?
And I think the world is swinging back
I
because
hope so.
we had this cancel culture that was around a couple of years back, and we haven't really heard much about that now. So, and what I'm seeing, at least on the roast scene and some of the places that I've played at in other states, Las Vegas and LA, people are almost starving for authenticity.
Well, they did recently just have, I'm going to bring it up again, at the Golden Globes, somebody cracked on
Yep.
Taylor.
Yep.
And it didn't go over so well.
Yeah, there's a
And
lot of
so there was
a lot of news about it
backlash
the
on
day
those,
after.
on those jokes.
Yeah.
So when you mentioned you haven't heard anything yet, I just don't think. I think they've been dormant.
I think it depends on where you look, to be honest with you, and especially like your algorithms, right? One of the things I've seen a million times now, if I watch one video that pertains to like Matt Rife, his comedy special that came out and blah, blah, blah. I personally haven't seen it, so I can't speak on it. But a lot of people were talking about, cancel him and he's terrible and da-da-da. And it's like, guys, if you're going to a comedy show or you're watching a comedy show, let it be what it is. It doesn't have to be.
I mean, is he that funny?
I think honestly it's just more because he's attractive that he got into
Good looking
this.
dude. He's a good looking
Yeah,
dude.
he
no
is.
question.
He's
good
he's
looking
got,
dude. But-
great bone structure. Congratulations.
But is he really funny? I mean, there's a lot.
I don't know.
I see a lot of.
It's a subjective.
I see a lot of interaction with the crowd, but I don't really see any funny jokes delivered. I mean, you might find a joke in interacting with people, but I don't see any one-liners being delivered. Not like a Joan Rivers, not like a George Carlin, not like a Jim Carrey.
I think it is a lot of crowd-based things. It's very improvisational, I feel like.
Do you do that, Raff?
Not a whole lot of crowd work. Only when I get heckled. Ideally, I'd like to get through a set.
How do you handle that? if somebody's
So the first time I handled it terribly. I let the heckler win.
Yeah.
And I swore to myself that moment that I would never let anyone steal my thunder again. And partly because I was doing a 5-minute set. It was my first time at this venue.
Sure.
And you get hit with that, the angel and the devil. Do you rip this person's life apart in front of
Sure.
everyone, or do you try to keep a good relationship
Sure.
with the promoter that booked you?
Yeah,
So that, again, is challenging because, as you saw in that video, I've spent so much of my life in fitness and then MMA, and things like that with athletics where no one's really just came and messed with me for no reason.
Sure.
Like on the street, no one just does that. No one just shows up at your job and just yells at you unless you're a comedian.
Right. No, of course. I think it's definitely have to have a thick skin. That's for sure.
And do you have a plan of assault when this happens? Is there like a blueprint that you can carry from one show to another if somebody happens to get disrespectful? Do you start to go after like the looks, the personality, who they're with?
Because that's all you have available. Unlike the roasts where we like to get the comedians to talk with each other ahead of time so you can plan, at least some funny, clever stuff within each other's backstories. But when you see someone, a heckler, and he's just a random stranger, you have no choice but to pick apart their insecurities based on the way they're dressed or their height or race, religion, things like that. And it's funny because the comedy world is the only place where the audience almost feels like it's their right to participate.
Oh, they can be brutal.
So the best shows, the crowd work is done in between transitions of jokes within the set.
Right.
So if something doesn't land right or if something lands wonderfully, it gives you a chance to work with the crowd. If you hear dead silence, then there's a chance for a little bit of crowd work there.
Right.
But I think and at least this is what I'm learning, is that you have to sort of weave it in and out of the set. And that must come with a ton of experience because some of the people, Mark Riley, for example, I've seen him perform 5 or 6 times in the last few years. And of those 5 or 6 times, I want to say 4 of them, he got heckled. Or people just showed up and they were just very rude and they were just disrupting his set. And, he ripped them apart. He ripped them apart. And it was fantastic because he's quick, he's clever, and he's witty. And
some comedians practice their responses too, don't they? Just for that purpose?
I would think so. I would think you got to have, a couple bullets in the holster.
I wish I was better at that, to be honest with you, because there have been quite a few times where, someone will say something and you think of it after. You're like, oh, I should have said that. I tend to be pretty quick on my feet. But do you feel like you can respond fairly, like, drop of a hat?
Yeah. And that comes with practice, of course. It is challenging, though, because you're in the middle of your set. So now your set's interrupted, and then you go and spend a minute or two just roasting someone who's in the crowd, and then you have to kind of remember where you are in your set.
Try to bring it back.
Where you are in the time.
It interrupts your flow.
Of your set.
Yeah,
it
it's
interrupts your flow. Correct, exactly. Yeah, so I'd rather not get heckled.
Right.
if it was up to me. But, it's a part of the industry.
Yeah, it is.
I'm sure there are some comedians out there that are inviting it.
Yeah.
They want to be heckled so they can respond.
Definitely. And I'm sure a lot of them have built careers on that crowd work and response.
Well, when it kind of comes down to it anyway, I feel like everyone wants that moment in the spotlight, right? So what better way to get it than when you're at a show and it's dead silent and you got to scream out and, it's just...
The bottom line is those people are stupid. You never challenge a professional.
Of course they're stupid.
Yeah. Especially a professional that's as clever as comedians.
Yeah,
right.
Exactly.
Well,
get your 50 minutes of fame somewhere
I've
else.
definitely heard the saying, any attention is good attention. So maybe
Yeah.
that's what they're thinking.
Go back
I
to
don't know.
Roast for a second.
Sure.
Dean Martin's roasts.
Okay.
They were brutal back then. And now most of the things they said back then, they can't say now.
No, you couldn't get away with that. No.
It's really, really strange how the society changes over the years.
Oh, I've resorted
what we
to
thought
watching
was
older things.
taboo back then is open now, and vice versa, which is very weird to me because I'm aging myself. But that's how Don Rickles and all the rest of them.
Don Rickles was great.
When they used to do those
Great.
roasts, they were brutal.
Great.
But, I'm glad to see it's coming back. So that's great. I'm glad you're doing it.
Yeah, thank you. And I'm glad that it is coming back because it's such a special art form in comedy. It's different than just writing a script and just trying to be silly and funny. Because in order to be dark, you have to be clever. Or it doesn't work because then you're just being mean.
Right.
Yeah, you can't do that, obviously.
There's a balance.
Yeah.
Clever.
there.
Quickly, Jojo, have you ever been heckled?
Yes.
Yes? Oh, we got to put your mic back on. You have been heckled.
6-year-olds
I was
are the most brutal
Kids are brutal.
hecklers.
Yep.
I've been attacked by hecklers.
Yeah, they typically
Emotionally and physically. So,
Like a whole gang of
Yeah.
say, if you
6-year-olds?
ever want to know.
yeah, you just have to like shake them.
Would they throw their PB&Js
Yeah.
at you or
No,
something?
they throw like coins, like
Wow.
whatever they have
Well, I mean,
in their
that's
little
money.
grubby
Take it.
little
I mean, give it.
6-year-old hands.
Oh,
Yeah.
wow. Okay, that's funny.
If you ever want an honest opinion, ask a child. That's what they say.
Oh, they'll
So,
tell you.
Raff, what's your gig that you remember the most? That you're most proud of? Like anything specific?
Yeah, probably the first gig I got paid at. I did
there
a
you go.
spot opening up for someone at Nick's Comedy Stop, and that was probably the best set that I have on film, where 80% of the jokes landed. So that one is special to me because it was the first paid gig, and I had a couple comedians come up to me afterwards, and I said some very controversial things, but I thought it was very well done, and the praise from comedians afterwards is almost more important than the reception from the audience, because comedians are thinking with like a different type of intellect.
Right.
So to get pulled aside and be like, wow, that was really special, that was cool.
Yeah, you're being accepted by your own,
100%. Yeah,
amazing.
exactly.
Isn't that kind of like when Johnny Carson used to invite the comedian to talk to him afterwards? That acceptance. Because if you didn't get invited, you knew you didn't do as well as he thought you should have done. That was one of the litmus tests for a comedian back in the 60s and 70s, and I guess maybe early 80s, right? So yeah, if Johnny Carson didn't invite you after your set to come speak to him at his desk, you didn't pass the test for him, which is
wow.
interesting. Yeah, right there
Very
on camera.
interesting.
So you can imagine a few of them were disappointed afterwards.
Yeah. But time has changed so much where back in Johnny Carson's day, you could get a 5-minute slot on that television show because there weren't too many options to choose from. And then that could make your career.
Oh, yeah.
You could have one good set on a late night television show, and then your career could explode.
Yeah.
And now it's not like that. We're kind of bridging this gap where I consider myself kind of part of the lost generation where, and this goes to the story, I get a agent after this movie. I move to New York. I think I'm going to be the biggest movie star on the planet for a 30-second featured role, right? And I start going on this endless loop of classes and auditions and photo shoots and this person saying they know that person, and I have to meet with this casting director, and that person saying I need to meet this person. So it was just like endless loop. And I read for some really big roles, and I found out they were really big roles afterwards when the movies came out, because usually they're under like a code name, but you'd see the lines and then the exact lines that you read for. And I read for some big roles, and every time I walked into a casting director's office, the first question they asked me, they said, so how many Instagram followers do you have? And this is back in like 2017. I'm like, what are you talking about? I'm
Really?
Meisner trained. I took the Stanislavski course. I bought into the whole method acting and the training.
Wow.
And these people, they didn't care. Even if I was to read Italian
it's
Cop
more
number
about the
one.
numbers now, isn't it?
Yeah. And
Yeah.
so now, I guess that transitions beautifully for comedians and entertainers that commit themselves to doing things like this and podcasting and sending out social media
Right.
as much as they can into
Right.
the world. But there was that gap where we'll call it the reality television show gap, where
Yeah.
it went from sitcoms, late night TV, Friends, Seinfeld,
Right.
and then it went to this like mess of reality television
Yeah.
shows, and now it's
Yeah.
all about the influencer.
Well,
Yeah.
it's
Yeah.
kind
I'm
of
not a
funny.
big fan of reality TV,
Well,
that's for sure.
It's kind of I don't want to say comical, but ironic that today they had the Senate Judiciary Committee interviewing all the top social media CEOs about their
Really?
pornography and how it affects children. So you bring up a good point about the reach and the effects of social media. Here you are, this really talented guy, and all they give two craps about is
Numbers.
followers.
Yeah, followers.
Yeah.
They've lost their way. The
It is. It's all
the
about
industry
the
is
numbers.
concerned about making money more than anything now. Back in the day, they used to be concerned about quality. Now they don't care as long as your number. That's why we have so many reality shows, because it's cheap, easy to make, and people watch it. And they don't care about the quality anymore, or artists, or anything else like that.
Well, Barbie just got snubbed at the Oscars.
Yeah, well, that's true.
Oliver Stone.
You're gonna find this more and more.
Well, Oliver Stone
more.
was quoted in panning it, saying, "What is Ryan Gosling doing? This is awful for his career." He had to,
Yeah.
he had to publicly come out and walk back that statement and say, "I'm so sorry."
Wow.
I mean, $1 billion.
So, I want to ask the same question to JoJo. What was your experience that was like top in your craft so far that you can recall?
Oh, that's a really good question, and I don't want to.
That didn't involve 6-year-olds.
Okay, all right. I performed at NemCon, which is like a New England comedy convention. I got to perform a routine on the stage, and I practiced it, and it was very, very stressful. Because doing magic in front of a huge audience, it's very technical, like sleight of hand. Like I was doing things with like eggs in my hands where, like sweaty, and you want to fool people, you want to entertain them. So that, and I've performed on The Spirit of Boston.
The Spirit of Boston.
Yeah.
How does that work? I mean, did the motion of the boat affect your?
No, that was a really cool experience because
okay.
it was for like a Brazilian radio station, and I don't speak much Portuguese, so it was one of the times where the magic kind of spoke for itself. Like I didn't really do much vocal communicating. It was just kind of like I would walk up to people and like say like hello, and then I would do tricks, and you would see like without saying any words like how you can like talk to people just through doing stuff.
Wow, I never really thought about it, but the dialogue is so important to the routine, isn't it?
Yeah,
it kind of sets it up.
Yeah.
Well, the Brazilians are all about the body language.
Oh, yeah.
Tell me about
booze,
it. I'm from Framingham.
Booze and body language.
Booty language.
And
Booty
food.
language. Thank you, Raff.
Coxinha.
Yes, thank you.
So, Raff, what's next for you?
Well, I got the roast coming up. I'm
Yep.
going to continue making, funny videos and trying to extend my network within the social media sphere. I dance every weekend when we have shows.
Yeah.
Male Review,
Yeah.
which is, I'm going to say, more fun than comedy. And twice
He's
as
good.
much fun as
He's
playing
good.
music.
Listen, he's good. Listen, he's
Taylor's
good.
an
And-
eyewitness.
we've had he's done
am
the
an
doctor.
eyewitness.
I like the doctor routine. He's done well. I don't have a doctor, so it's always good to have Dr. Feel Good
There you go.
out there.
And since we're on the subject, why don't you give them your social media?
At Raff Bibbo, RAFFBIBBO. You can look me up. Always on the scene, trying to make the world a more fun and exciting place.
There you go. And JoJo, what about your stuff?
Joe's Magic _ on Instagram, TikTok, and YouTube as well.
There you go. Okay, great. Unfortunately, we're going to have to wrap it up here. Taylor, what's up next for you? Coming up for the rest of the winter? Anything good that doesn't involve a ring?
Well, I guess who knows at this point. We're potentially starting a new career, so we'll see how that goes.
That sounds interesting.
And maybe we'll make it back out together.
And Joshua, how are things at the gym in Boston?
Things are steady.
Do we call it a gym, or what's the correct term?
Studio.
Studio?
Yeah.
Okay, all right. Well, what's going on? New
some,
places doing well?
I'm steady. I just hired a guy.
Ooh, good.
We're going to start teaching some classes. I'm looking for a yoga instructor. So if anybody knows anything about yoga and wants to be a teacher, I got beautiful space. And shows. We're working on trying to put more shows. We're looking at expanding into comedy and some other stuff. So that, but this organization, and we should consider doing a separate show just based on these guys. They're amazing.
Oh yeah,
they're smart
absolutely.
people, talented.
Thanks, guys, for coming down here
They're
tonight.
great
Really
people.
appreciate it.
And I'm happy to be here with all of you. So thank you, Michael.
Yeah. Hey, listen, I'm glad you guys are back. I can't be on camera now because we only have 4 cameras up there. But I'm glad you guys are back. Thank you. Welcome back. 2024, a new year for everybody. Good one so far. And good winter so far. No snow, thank God. I know some of you might have gotten it, but not where we are.
Yes.
These guys, go out and see them, support them, and just have a good time. Okay?
Thanks, everybody, for tuning in to Night Moves. I'm your host, Joshua Paul. I'm joined by Taylor.
Good night, everyone.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.